got it? Yep, okay, 6 o'clock. You ready? Good? Ready, Cindy? You good? Okay. Got 6 o'clock. Like to call this meeting to order. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carried. Let's say pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Public comment. If there's none, JD, come on up with the engineer update.
Good evening, JD King, Page County Engineer. A lovely winter day in Page County. It's not snowing. Engineer update went out Tuesday evening, and some other documents trickled out during the week. We're blading. After the weekend rain, we're hauling rock to the roads with 3 trucks onto the pile. We're cutting trees down southeast of Shan and moved the whole into the shop. Quit digging pipe. Last Friday, we did sprinkle some material down the pavements to get ahead of the possible icing. We did not go out on the weekend then. Work in the shop continues to refine our winter fight with the wings on the trucks. Motor grader number 8 should have been in for a service this week and had a tire issue with the older loader. Should be putting the shear on the hole so we can go into brush work, tree and brush work. And tomorrow they're gonna take the leased boom mower that we've been running back to the rental place. Construction continues on the Essex North Bridge. They placed a concrete pier footing, the south pier, yet on Tuesday. Today, they moved to the north side of the river and founded abutment piling. And the crew will be off starting tomorrow through the New Year's holiday. So they're giving their guys a break and you know, back and forth and back. Questions about the engineer update? Okay, the next item on the agenda is contracts for ARPA Rock. There's three separate ones. An initial $250,000 for roadstone on local roads. Then last week, there was some additional for the roadstone. And then there's also a contract for shoulder and rock, which is a different kind of rock, has more fines.
Okay, so we got those 3. Take action to sign those.
Yep, correct. I need spot for the chairman to sign.
All right, entertain a motion on that.
Yeah, make a motion that we sign all 3 of these contracts for Road Rock.
I'll second it.
I got a motion and a second. The contracts with Shieldberg Construction.
I have.
You got them there, okay. So any discussion, we can vote on that, those 3 contracts.
Clark,
Yes.
Holmes,
Yeah,
Mayor,
Yes.
okay.
Thank
Sign
you.
them.
I have signed copy of the signed contracts once you get them. Okay.
Send them to the auditor. She sent them to you. Roger sent them to you.
Yeah, if you can send them to me, that'd be great.
ask why you need them?
For the ARPA,
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, for your, so you can keep track.
right?
Good. Well, next up, we have Samuel's group here. It's up there, come on up.
Thank you.
A nice snow boot there.
Been roughed out, we're gonna be the items. Got a little kickback on one.
Oh, gosh.
Well, good evening. I make the guy with the soft boot walk around and hand everything out.
I did see the porta potty tipped over out there. You weren't in it when it happened, was it?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm not, it's more like a smurf.
Yeah, he'd be blue. So last time I met with you a couple of weeks ago, we said we wanted to meet with the contractors, go through some value engineering. That's exactly what we did. We met with them last Thursday and came up with some additional options. Since that meeting, just to give you an idea, we came up with an additional $150,000 in value engineering items. We were able to reevaluate some of the interest income, so we were able to change that number as well. So we've made about a $300,000, a little over $300,000 move since the last time that we met, where we've gotten the project down to that 17,541. That gives us a deficit right now of about 841. That's still carrying the $478,000 contingency. What we would suggest, because we're still waiting for some numbers, we were able to talk to the contractors and successfully get them to hold their numbers until the 12th of January. We're still waiting for some numbers from the electrician. But if you notice that $150,000 down there for the natural gas line, we've made some modifications to the electrical, which should reduce your gas consumption. And we're hoping that we can see that number could drop considerably, and if that's the case, that will give us another 100,000 plus is what we're hoping for. So I would suggest we just hold to these, January 12th, but right now I wanted to give you an update because I said that I would. And we're sitting right around that $840,000 right now. And I would say that the contractors have been pretty cooperative with, coming up with ideas, working with the engineers. If you think of where some of these started, I mean, they've come up with over $3 million worth of value engineering items. So I think that's pretty good over the last 2 or 3 months. So any questions on that? That also includes that food service, if you recall. We said that we were going to carry that. If we need to, we could reduce that from the number, but right now we do have that all in. And that's underneath of that food category 11B at 233,000. So there could be some savings there if we chose not to take all that food service.
Well, like we talked about a week or two ago, the voters said not to exceed 16.7 million. That's what they voted on. And I do not want to go a dollar past it. By taxing them some other way, by taking it from the county budget somehow.
Right. But I think before we get to that, Jacob, I think we just need to make sure that we've exhausted all of our numbers and that we can confidently look at you and say, this is the lowest we could possibly go. And when I'm still working with contractors and they're willing to continue to cooperate, I think we should do it.
Yeah.
We keep working on it, but
We're working, trust me, we've been on this quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think you guys know that.
Yep. No, I
the,
appreciate your work on it, but just, we're gonna have to really strive to try to get down close to that number as possible.
Yeah, I think so. I do want to say that we've picked this baby pretty clean. There's not a lot of meat on that bone. And so we've talked about redesign. We've talked about some of those items. My concern is if we go into redesign, the state's requiring how much square footage we have for a jail cell, for example. They require certain dynamics inside of the jail. We can't compromise those measurements. So I can't just randomly shrink that. And my concern is that we get this down so low, we're not going to have a lot of wiggle in this.
Right.
And I feel like we're close to there now, but Like I said, the contractors are aware of what's going on and they've been pretty cooperative. Even, we're looking at some energy credits that, Mid-American actually reached out to us and said, hey, we'd like to see what we could contribute to that. The problem is that we're doing a lot of value engineering in the electrical and the mechanical right now. I don't have anything to give them that they could really look at and say, hey, this is a credit that I could give you, because we're looking at changing some of that design. So until we have that documented formally, and we're not talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, I'm guessing, over the years that credit has reduced, but it might be $15,000-$20,000, I'm guessing.
Would you be able to, so is there any, I don't exactly remember the number of cells, but could you reduce the number of cells
Potentially.
to keep the same size of a cell, but you just have fewer
number of beds.
number of beds?
The issue that we have with the number of beds that came out through the study, if you recall, was the classification, and
Right.
that kind of drove the number of beds, and
That's
that,
what, I couldn't remember. I knew that had something to do with it, but I didn't know if we were over enough where you could maybe eliminate a couple and still be okay or not.
to be honest, I probably would have whacked them already.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been looking at the different mechanical systems and electrical systems, and we've been looking at vendors, and we really have went through this thing pretty good with a.
But whenever we were gonna go to the voters for the bond, I mean, that's when went through it over and over again. It was a 14-ish million deal up to not to exceed 16.7, and now we're well past that, about $1 million past that.
You're 840, yeah, you're right, you're
Yeah,
841.
So past the not to exceed number, like we were not, that was, the bond issue that was our max cap, and we were thinking we might come under that with contingencies and those things. And from that, we would be millions of dollars off. We'd be a couple million off where we thought we might land. So by your estimates, you guys are the ones that put together the estimate. for the bond.
Absolutely, I put together the estimate, and I
And-
stand by that estimate, I think you know that. The problem is you're dealing with a market condition, and we're doing our best to offset that market condition. And that's why we've asked for additional time and work with the contractors, is we got where we said it needed to be, and I don't disagree with you. But I'm doing my absolute best to mitigate those market conditions and put them where it needs to be. So that's why I'm here tonight saying,
Okay. Need
give
more
us a little
time.
bit more time,
Okay, well,
because if not, I've been
go
saying,
ahead.
either make a decision, right? So
Right.
that's not what I'm asking you to do tonight. What I'm asking you to do is to give us until that 12th. I think we'll see if we can't get on the next agenda, and at least, we should be pretty damn close, I think, at that point. And the other thing that we had asked last time was, just to look internally and see what you can come up with solutions as well. So I think at that next meeting, that whatever meeting date that is, we should probably plan for that and plan on that being a pretty important meeting.
I think you,
The 16th.
I think you've really worked really hard. We appreciate all the effort that you put into it, Sid.
Yeah.
Well, it's the contractors. I mean, we're bugging them and pressing them and arm wrestling them, but they're the ones that are coming up with the ideas at this point. So
Yeah.
we'll get on that next meeting agenda. We'll be here. And we'll go from there. As I had mentioned too, last time, we really do need to talk about those value engineering items so that you understand what you're paying for or what you might be compromising, because I don't think that's right to vote for something that.
You don't even understand what you've cut. You've
Exactly.
cut things.
So.
There's no chrome on the car.
What's that?
There's nothing. You've cut the options, some options maybe.
Yeah,
in a way.
the heater's in it.
Got a heater, but that's-
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
no, we're doing our best. So,
Well, if, let's say, I mean, your options are if down the road, it doesn't come together. One, rebid is an option, right?
Yep.
Or rebond. You want more money, go back to bond again. You're gonna,
yeah, I don't think that's a feasible
I'm
option.
just looking at the options. You've got either to rebid, go dig up money out of the budget somewhere, take it from somewhere else,
Right.
or scrap and go to bond and see if people want to spend 18 million or whatever you're gonna be at.
Well, I think you've got, to be honest, I think the other thing you need to look at is the selling of your second set of bonds, because as you can see, you guys have made some pretty good interest income and done a pretty good job there. And I think that's helping offset some of the trouble. You also have the abilities to work with the food service, your FF&E. I think there's some numbers in there still that can be worked on to mitigate that number down a little bit more. But I think we need, give us a little bit more time. I think we'll be there.
Okay.
Sounds
and-
good.
It's the best I could do for you. And like I said, we're on it. We don't.
Appreciate
let
your
it go.
work on it. and
You bet.
Keep plugging away.
We
So
will.
if it found its way down to the 16.7, if it found its way down there, we didn't compromise things. And we've just not even started yet. How confident are you then that as it's getting built, there's not gonna be more?
That's why you have a $478,000 contingency
Or do
still.
you think it's gonna fall in that as we go?
Yeah.
'Cause
I mean, historically, that's, it's probably a little bit more than what we would normally carry in there, considering that we've already developed the pad. But I think you need to keep that number in there. We could get you to a point where you'd have zero contingency and you'd be in your budget. The first change order would be coming to you asking if for more
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
So let's just see where we can push it and see if there's any other solutions internally. And let's just kind of have that tough meeting at the next one, whatever that date is.
We'll give you a couple more weeks and see
Yep.
where we go.
Yep,
Yeah.
we'll be here.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thanks for
Alright,
coming under
Thanks for
tonight.
your time.
Thank
Have a
Thank
good,
you, guys.
have a good Christmas.
Yeah, Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up on the agenda, we have, the disposal of a capital asset for Conservation Department, John Deere 1550. It's being traded in. Looks like I got the paperwork here.
Yeah.
Somewhere. So do we need a motion on that?
I guess I'll make a motion that we approve the disposal of capital asset
I'll
for the
second that.
John Deere.
Okay, got a motion and a second. I got a form here, yep. They're trading it in. So I guess we can vote to do that, to dispose of that.
Clark,
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes,
Mayor,
Yes.
okay, sign that. Okay, got that done. All right, next up, we have to acknowledge a petition calling for a special election for the office of Page County Auditor. So we need to do what? Acknowledge that in our meeting, in our minutes? We received a petition to have a special election, okay?
Yes.
We acknowledge that. Okay,
Do we have information for an election?
Do we know like when,
we are working with the Secretary of State office and we believe we will have that information ready to send out in a news release tomorrow.
okay,
okay, so tomorrow we'll know the parameters of that. Okay, next up on the agenda, we have, Iowa Law Enforcement Academy certification for 2 reserve deputies, Seth Stroud and Tony Nernberg. You guys here?
Good evening, I'm Josh Hafner with the
Yeah.
Page County Sheriff's Office. Pretty much I'm coming here for, we have 2 new reserves, Seth Stroud and Tony Nernberg. They've completed all their requirements for the ILEA to become certified as peace officers. ILEA requires us to go through the board to have permission for them to be firearm certified. It's just, they just need the minutes that you guys approved that these 2 new reserves can be certified with weapons.
Okay.
I would make a motion that we approve the 2 new reserve deputies, Seth Stroud and Tony Nernberg.
second?
Got a motion and a second.
Thank you.
Glad they're joining us. We'll
Yeah.
vote on that.
Clark,
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Okay, that's done. We'll get that in the minutes. You'll have it. Okay. All right, get my papers here. Next up, we had, this is all part of our informal resolution. The July 11th minutes for the IPIB. If you have those there, we need to, in our meeting, amend those where they had their error. If you look down at that paragraph, if you see it there, the third one up from the bottom, I think that should say motion carried 2-0. You see that? So 2-1.
Oh, yeah.
Should be 2-0. I don't know if we need the word abstention because it says it right above there that I abstain. So probably just 2-0. I think it's the proper way to do that. And then on the back of those, it of course says, what's that?
I'm just passed out.
Yeah, passed out rewritten minutes. Strike that. That wasn't supposed to be there. So that's our amendments to that. Do we have a
Okay,
motion?
I'd make a motion that we approve the amended minutes for July 11th, 2024.
Okay,
I'll second that.
got a motion and a second. Vote on that.
Clark,
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Okay, that's amended. We can finish that. And then when we were looking through things, a couple of things we have to comply with. The resolution is that we have to have one set of minutes approved by the Board of Supervisors, which always has been, but we have to make sure that's done because that's not the way it was being done. So I noticed these two did,
Oh, okay. I'm
Didn't
sorry. You're gonna
have-
talk about these two.
yeah,
Okay.
they
Yep.
didn't. We were looking through trying to make sure they were all done. We couldn't locate those from that meeting. So the 29th, if you see that, February 29th. I had a few here. Let's see. I went through here and just did a
I've
few.
got 'em.
You got it?
Yeah, I have it.
Do you want it?
But
I've got them. Okay, I went through and amended them. Of course, it says rewritten in a few spots, there's discussion in them. I just kind of made it look like we had done. So
Oh, okay.
entertain a
Took the-
motion on that.
yeah,
29th.
just took that one discussion item.
Well, no,
Oh,
there's
and then
another
there's some
couple
more, okay.
spots,
Yep. Gotcha.
just kind of make them fit.
And I'll make a motion that we approve those with amended minutes for February 29th, 2024.
Okay, I'll second that.
ready.
We can vote on it.
Clark,
Yes.
Holmes.
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Okay, and then the 16th, I didn't see anything on there. We just somehow
Couldn't find it.
didn't have where it said it was approved in the minutes, so I wanted to make sure we
Okay.
did that right. Just a motion as presented.
I'll make a motion that we approve the September 16th, 2024 minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Can we
Clark.
Vote on that?
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Okay, so we got those all taken care of. And then the minutes book will be updated and all board approved, all signed. Then I'll send that to the IPIB that's been accomplished. They called me this week. I
Okay.
want to know if it had been accomplished, so we need to have it all properly done, that the minutes are board approved and recorded. Okay. Next up on the agenda. Let's see here, got the resolution. This is another thing they want it done. Resolution 59. That goes through the same thing, that we will keep minutes to meet Iowa code. And the clerk will send the draft minutes to the board to be reviewed by the board. And any amendments that need done will be reviewed and approved by the board. And upon approval of the minutes, they will be furnished to the media for publication. There'll be a single set of official minutes approved by the Board of Supervisors. So they want this done, so I'll send this to them once we pass it.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 59-2024.
I'll second it.
Okay, got a motion, and a second on resolution 59. Any other discussion? And we'll vote on
Clark,
Yes.
Holmes,
it. Yes,
Mayor,
Yes.
good, I'm glad that's taken care of. It's been a lot of time to get this fixed the way it should have, should have been done. Okay, sign that. Next up on the agenda, we have board communication.
I watched a Zoom presentation yesterday about ARPA. It was so interesting.
Was it or was it not? No.
Oh, it was.
I read
just-
the article on it, so that's
Yeah, I
why I
was just
said,
talking about the year end and
Yeah.
what you gotta do, so yeah.
we were supposed to have an EMA meeting, but it got canceled. And so now they're gonna try to have one on the 30th. Maybe, hopefully. That's the goal.
I ran up to Council Bluffs yesterday to the juvenile detention meeting and working on budget issues there and salaries and all that stuff. Getting ready for that.
I would like to, I suppose, just as good time as any. So I did some research because I was just curious since we were talking about it a little bit. Just called the auditor's office to have a breakdown of where all the money has been spent and the percentages of what that money has went to. And so the courthouse, we've spent $1,459,683.70 for 48% of the ARPA money went to the courthouse. The conservation, they got 241,710 or 8%. Page West Building, which is over in Shenandoah, they got 11,300, which is 1%. The annex, we spent 98,539.27 for 3% of the total. The sheriff's office received $501,054.56, which was 16%. And secondary roads, we've spent $741,760 for 24%. So that's the breakdowns. So we haven't spent everything on roads. So just wanted to clear that up, but I thought it was important so people know where the money's going and what we've spent it on. So.
Yeah, they're not here anymore, and that brings to my mind, when that console was bought, that's where you guys are here, but it's nearly $500,000 console for the dispatch. And if my memory's right, it was gonna cost $160,000 or $70,000 to move it to the new jail. And I was not for doing that when we bought that. I did not vote for that because I thought, what if the jail passes and we build it? So they're gonna have to move that console. It'd be very expensive to do that too. I wish they had not bought that though. But it's behind us now, but
And that's not at the sheriff's office, that's
the
at.
dispatch. But I-
Dispatch.
it's gonna
that's at
get
the
moved.
Dispatch, that's at the.
Getting it up out of the basement.
We'd have waited to
yeah,
buy it
basement, yeah.
till now, there'd have been about $170,000 savings, but anyway, but that is
Yeah.
it broke down. It went a lot of different places. The courthouse took the vast majority of it. I'm glad we got some spread out other places also.
Yep.
Okay, well, thanks for putting that together. We had no claims. Now we have minutes from last week's meeting. So I have a motion on the minutes from last week's meeting.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from last week, December 12th as presented.
Okay, got a motion?
Let's see. Issues with them.
Have a second, I'll second it. Okay, discussion on that, and we'll vote.
Clark,
No,
Holmes,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
That done. Got some stuff to sign here. Anything else? We can adjourn. Have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
wow,
Have a second?
I second
6:29.
that,
Okay,
6:29.
got a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned. Thanks for coming.